What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right. Just gonna go into this video. Want to give a shout out to Carmelo Anthony of the Portland Trailblazers for having an excellent start. To his tenure with the Portland Trailblazers. He's had such a great week, in fact, that he's been named the Western Conference Player of the Week for this past week. This is the first time that Anthony has been named Player of the Week since he was with the New York Knicks 5 years ago. So he's been having an awesome week. I think during the past week, the Trailblazers went 3-0 with him being their leading scorer, averaging better than 22 points, nearly 8 rebounds, and over 2 assists per game. Now, there's been some people who said, oh, well, there's been other people who had better stats and all that. You got to understand the situation that both Carmelo Anthony and the Portland Trailblazers were in before this week. You see, there was a stretch before they signed Carmelo Anthony where Portland was arguably one of the worst teams in the NBA, and they were the most disappointing team from last year. This is the same team that went to the Western Conference Finals last year. All right, and they were horrible. So much so that a frustrated Damian Lillard had to score a career-high 60 points to try to light a fire in his team as far as effort and trying to salvage a victory, and they still lost that game. So desperate measures, desperate times took for the organization, desperate measures, and Damian Lillard, from all reports, vouched for the team to go ahead and get Carmelo Anthony and insert Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony had not played in a game in over a year, and he is also not 22, 25, 27. He's 35 years old. So, and he's only playing, I think, 30 minutes a game. So when you consider that this guy basically is almost essentially like a walk-on. I mean, he's an NBA legend, don't get me wrong, but he really didn't have much NBA experience in the last year. So this guy's basically walked on, not basketball. He's not in basketball shape quite yet. He's getting there. But when he started, he really wasn't in basketball shape. Hadn't really practiced with the team. And, he's playing gangbusters right now. For the season, I think so far, through 6 games, he's averaging 17.7 points. I think 6 rebounds, over 2 assists. He's shooting 46% from the floor. He's shooting 37% from 3. I said this in a video earlier. I think he's shooting the 3 better now than he ever did in his career. He's 80% from the foul line, and he has been a boost for this team because most importantly, they're winning, and that's what's most important. And there's going to be some ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? It happens with any shooter. He's going to have some bad shooting nights. But I was hoping that, Carmelo could average 16 to shut his haters up. But the way he's playing, and I think he's going to get even better as he gets in better basketball shape. That should be like, I think by the next 10 games, he's going to really be, killing it. But when he really gets his legs under him, I think it's possible this guy might average 20 points per game. And I think one of these games, Carmelo's going to drop 40. So, I think you have to give him the praise that he deserves right now. Now, of course, the Eastern Conference Player of the Week was Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think for the week, I think he averaged something like 35 points. 35 points, maybe 13 rebounds and 5 assists or 6 assists or something like that. I can't remember the numbers anymore. Something otherworldly. And I think that Giannis right now, and there's been some great players that played with the Milwaukee Bucks, man. Sidney Moncrief, you know what I'm saying? Marquise Johnson, Michael Redd had his stint. You know, Ray Allen had his stint. You know, Big Dog Glenn Robinson. Vin Baker was a bit of a disappointment. You know, so he could have been better. And you had some other guys who had some shorter stints with the organization, of course. Alvin Robinson, Dale Ellis. You know, Moses Malone might have had his last really good years with the Bucks. But I think right now, if you were to ask me where would I rank Giannis as far as Milwaukee Bucks history, as far as overall dominance, I would have to put him right now second only to the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Oscar Robertson did play a couple of years. He won a title with the Milwaukee Bucks, but by that time, Oscar Robertson was in the twilight of his career, and as great as Sidney Moncrief was as a basketball player, I don't think he's quite as dominant. He was ever quite as dominant as Giannis is. Giannis is a hell of a talent. And from the Milwaukee Bucks organization, I got to do whatever I can to convince Giannis to stay with this team. I think Giannis, wants to stay with the Bucks. You know what I'm saying? But you know how the media are. They try to pressure guys to go on to other organizations. But back to Carmelo. This is what the deal is about, Carmelo Anthony, man. You gotta tip your hat to Carmelo, man, because he's shutting up a lot of the haters out there in the media who said that this guy, was done. And you notice that a lot of the people in the mainstream are very quiet right now when it comes to Carmelo, because the one thing that I know I do on my channel, if I'm wrong about something, I acknowledge it. But certain people out there, your Stephen A. Smiths, your Shannon Sharps, Skip Bayless, you know what I'm saying? Chris Broussard is probably the worst offender when it comes to this. But he's a preacher man, though. I'm a preacher. They are some of the worst when it comes to admitting fault. You know what I'm saying? They want all of the praise and all of the glory when they're correct on something, but when they're wrong, they don't want to acknowledge it. They'll either briefly acknowledge something or they won't acknowledge it at all. And I think that's messed up. So I hope that Carmelo, continues his streak. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's also impressive when you think about the fact that this is Carmelo's 17th season, and the only other guy from that draft class that's really still doing it is LeBron. You know what I'm saying? And LeBron, is the best player for that draft, of course. But Carmelo, to me, is really proven that I know one thing. Every other team in the NBA right now is really kicking themselves that they didn't give this guy a chance. You know what I'm saying? They felt the pressure from other organizations and the media, listening to the media and telling people that this guy is a cancer to organizations and he was washed up and he was, he didn't have anything left and all he cared about was numbers and all that type of stuff. And Carmelo does want to win, man. You know what I'm saying? And he's proven that, you know what I'm saying? And you just have to put him in the right situation. You can't put him with guys like Russell Westbrook and James Harden who are so ball dominant. And you kind of have to, with them, you have to play a certain role to be successful with those guys. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't really adjust to Carmelo. You know what I'm saying? They wanted Carmelo to adjust to them, and he's in a great situation, and I hope the best for him. I really do. So, with that said, that's it, man. Tell me what you guys think.